Good morning, children. Welcome back. Hope you all are fine. We are studying about the Constitution of India. In the previous class, we studied how the Indian Constitution was framed. And before that, we learned what were the characteristic features of Indian Constitution. We learned what are fundamental rights and fundamental duties. In today's class, we are going to learn about directive principles. See, the Constitution has given certain instructions to the citizens. It conferred certain duties upon the citizens. Similarly, the Constitution has given some instructions to the states for making into a welfare state, for becoming or for transferring them into welfare states. And those guidelines or those instructions are included in the directive principles. Part 4 of the Constitution contains the directive principles of state policy. It is included in Articles 36 to 51. These directive principles are not a substitute of the laws of the country. Instead, they are guidelines to the state government. The primary aim of these guidelines is to make or to become into a welfare state. These guidelines are aimed at achieving the social, economic, political and the overall well-being of a citizen. All the constitutions of the world do not contain these directive principles except the constitutions of India and Ireland. So we can say that the directive principles are unique in nature. The makers of the constitution, they consulted different constitutions of the world and they have chosen the best part of those constitutions. Thus, from the Irish constitution, they have taken the concept of directive principles. The makers of the constitution, they have drawn inspiration with regard to the directive principles from 5 different sources. One, already I have told you, the Irish constitution. The second one is the French Revolution. The concept of liberty, equality and fraternity can be seen as the guidelines of the French Revolution. The Declaration of the Rights of Men and Citizens of France. The ideas of Mahatma Gandhi also can be found there in the directive principles. It shows the importance that the people, those who framed the constitution, has given to Mahatma Gandhi. The Gandhian principles of development can be found there in the constitution. Gandhiji believed that the development of the country can be made possible only through the development of the villages. And he suggested many ways for making the villages into self-sufficient. So these Gandhian ideals too can be found in the directive principles. The fourth source is the Charter of Human Rights, framed by the United Nations. And the fifth source is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It was approved by the United Nations when the Constituent Assembly was discussing about the Indian Constitution. there is a difference between the fundamental rights and the directive principles. If any of the fundamental rights are violated, Constitution has granted us the power to approach the court for the restoration of the lost fundamental rights. But the directive principles are not justiciable. That means we cannot approach any court for implementing these guidelines mentioned in the directive principles. They provide framework for social, political and economic programs that has to be implemented in the country. Already I told you these directive principles are the guidelines to the state government, and they expect from the state governments that their policies should be made for the welfare of the people. They provide an element of permanence in democracy. Since the primary aim of the directive principles is to create a welfare state, they provide an opportunity to judge the functioning of the government. It gives an opportunity to the people to judge whether the government is attaining or achieving its aim of making a welfare state. Thus, the directive principles help the people to judge the government. They enlighten and educate the people what they can expect from their political leaders. The 42nd Amendment Act of 1976 clearly states that if any law is framed with regard to the implementation of the directive principles, it cannot be declared unconstitutional even if it takes away any of the fundamental rights mentioned under Articles 14, 19 and 31. It also clearly states that if there is any conflict arises between the directive principles and fundamental right, the formal shall prevail. That means the directive principles will be given importance over the fundamental right, because the fundamental rights are dealing with the individual rights, whereas directive principles deal with the interest of the entire people. Though these many guidelines and importance are given with regard to the directive principles, yet these principles cannot be enforceable by any court of the country. That means if the government fails to implement the guidelines or instructions given in the directive principles, the citizens have no right to approach a court for instructing the government to implement these guidelines. It is enough for today. In the next class, we will discuss about welfare state. I hope the topics which we discussed today is clear to you. If you have any doubt, if you have any difficulty in getting any point which is discussed, you are free to contact me through the school app. It's enough for today. Take care. Bye.